We're jumping back into No Man's Sky, and today I'm going to show you how we're basically going to be building ourselves our own money printer. Today's video is sponsored by SecretLab. We all strive for the best possible gaming experience, but the importance of a good quality chair is often underestimated. SecretLab produces some of the most comfortable and high quality gaming chairs you can get. So upgrade your commander chair today and fly in style and comfort. Follow the link in the video description to their store, type in your height, your weight, and it will tell you which chairs fit you for the best possible seating experience. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Man's Sky. So let me show you. Now, I would assume that a lot of you guys are already very familiar with this this method of refining, what is it called? Chlorine. Yes, refining chlorine with oxygen. But for newer players, let me just show you real quick. If we take oxygen into a medium refiner and we put it in together with chlorine, and this is all over YouTube, by the way. I can't remember where I saw it first or wait for someone who told me. But you can see here, for 1 chlorine and 2 oxygen, we gain 6 chlorine. So we get a 1 to 6 scale up in the amount of chlorine that we get. So you can see this pile right here is currently 252,000 units worth. If I start this refining process and wait for it to finish, and done. We ran out of oxygen, so if we take these 2 piles and merge them together, we can see that we now have 716,000 units worth of chlorine. So as you can see, we can very, very quickly build up a substantial amount of money. We just need to find a reliable source of oxygen, and I have a few different avenues, ways to do that I'm going to explore today. I am relatively new to the game, so I'm not really sure what's the best way, but I'm going to explore a few options today. If you need chlorine and you can't find a place to buy it, what you can do is you can go ahead and just buy a little bit of salt. I found it here, the guy just arriving at one of the space stations. So if we go ahead and just pick up just a small amount of salt, doesn't really matter, 1 unit is technically enough. You can just run it into either your backpack refinery or any other refinery, and you can see refining salt turns it into chlorine, and there you have some of the seed chlorine we're going to need to get this process started. Now, the first option I want to explore are the oxygen harvesters. It seems like that should be a reliable way to get oxygen, but must place on terrain, so they must be placed on the ground and can't place them up here. Okay, that's an oxygen harvester, alright. Working when you sit on the ground. Open the harvester. Okay, so these you have to basically feed fuel like this, and now they harvest oxygen. Okay, it's rather slow and a bit annoying that you have to fuel them up, meaning, I mean, I would really like something we can run off the power. We have tons of power in our base, so it would be really nice if we could run it off that, so we can just set up a lot of storage tanks and then just go away, and then come back later, and then it should be all the oxygen we need. Because as you can see, since we can just multiply the chlorine, we just, like, the limiting factor for how much money we can make is how much oxygen we can collect. So, okay, the other ones that we're looking at were these atmospheric harvesters. They also like harvests valuable gases. Once activated, we just need some hermetic seals to build these. So let's go ahead and make those real quick. And there's an atmospheric harvester, which looks a lot like the oxygen harvester. How does this work? You feed in fuel and... oh, so this one just harvests... okay, so it works exactly the same as the oxygen. Oh, look, it has small wings. Oh, how cute. But the difference is this one harvests nitrogen, I guess, instead of oxygen. Yes. That leaves us with one last option, and that should work, I think. It's also the most difficult one. That is the gas extractors. So these work like you have to find like hotspots with the right type of gas, and then you can kind of extract it by putting these on these hotspots, and then you can add pipes to them. At least that's how I understand it. Then add pipes, and then you can pipe the gas they extract based on the hotspots back to supply depots. I think that's how it works. So theory is, if we're lucky and we could find a oxygen supply close to where we are, we should be able to put those up, run a pipeline all the way up there to the base up on top, and then run the pipeline into our engineering room underneath the landing pad. Okay, so there is a gas hotspot, like 260 units that direction. It's B, which is okay, I guess. Come on. Please be oxygen. Please be oxygen. Nitrogen. Well. And there it is. Analyzing hotspot. Please. Oxygen. Yes. Okay, max concentration is only 40%. Now you look at that, we are 837 U away from our base computer right here. I don't know if that's in range. I mean, obviously we can't. You can see we can't build walls here. We are outside the base building area, but there is a way to extend that. So I'm gonna be running back. We have a safe beacon out there now, so we have a point to go to. You can see it there. You can always find it again now. So let's jump back. There we go. Now we are in range of the base computer, so we can go ahead and take just like random wall or something, and then we can need to find our. Where was it? Hold on. Okay, so there's our safe beacon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run as long as we're allowed to with that wall. So now it says out of build range, and then I think somebody said you can use the build camera, and then we can actually move the wall further, and then we build a wall like there. And now that we have a wall there, you can see even though we're moving further away, we are still inside the build area. So we basically just extended the build area of our base out in this direction. There we go. I managed to get walls all the way out here. So there's our beacon, and that means that now we have access to build stuff out here. So that means we now have to build a small platform for this to sit on. So I should be able to, was this the right ones? Gas extractor. So I should be able to put down like one there and one like so. I wonder how much oxygen these are actually making, which I can't see before we run power out here. Back to the base, it's time to run some power. There we go, they now have power, and we can see that the extractors here, time left in cycle. So, oh, wait, what? Network extraction rate 222 per hour, and then there's like, so you don't spit out constantly, they spit out at the end of a cycle. But you know what we're gonna do, just to run a test, before we begin piping everything back, and it's gonna take forever, because I need to to run pipes all the way back to the base and just run them up the tower. I need to build some storage things. Let's just run a test. How about I just go ahead and build a number of these extractors here, or sorry, storage units here, and then we're gonna let these fill up just to see how this actually works. Now look at that, we actually got the first batch of 250 that was spit out here. Nice, we're up to like over 1600 now per hour. Again, it's not like an insane amount, but if it's something that I within a play session can like, the goal is that at the end of a play session, you can just go take all the oxygen, run it through the processes, and then just stock up on oxygen and money, and then basically go and sell it. It is the next day, and I've done a little bit of optimization on this off camera, and just so you can see there's a pipeline running. The other end of it continues to go outwards in that direction. You can see those wall pieces that I use as kind of pylons, and it continues to go out. Oh, could we actually see it? Oh, you can just see them right there at the center of the screen. You can just see the extractors poking out of the trees over there. There's the extractors. They're running through the pipelines. You can see the pipeline there, and that pipeline now goes all the way up here and goes into our little room underneath here. And sorry I haven't put up lights down here yet. That's on my to-do list. And they go into all these storage depots back here. Now, I discovered something great. These things, they work when you're offline. So that 2-hour timer till that's full, that I could go to sleep if I want to. Turn the computer off, go to sleep. It will still fill up. So I might actually buff this up. I have about just shy like 3.5-4 hours-ish to fill it up completely. You can actually see that because let's just go and take all the oxygen we have now. You can see, okay, so just over 4 hours to fill it up. I actually want that to be a little bit more. We take a small amount of chlorine. You see, it already made three piles here, and I split up my oxygen as well into 3 piles. And all we have to do now is we're gonna take that chlorine and that oxygen. So take a pile of oxygen, find a pile of chlorine, and maybe we should have a look. This batch of chlorine is now like 16,000 units, and we're gonna start that process, making more chlorine. We're gonna do the same thing in the second one and the third one, of course. And once the light on them turn green, we can see that it's now done, and those 16,000 units worth of chlorine has now turned into a lot more. And we can just put them back because we have more oxygen and just run them through the process another time, making the stack 6 times larger again. And once we've used up all our oxygen, we can go ahead and just collect all of this into our suit. So we had 3 piles, each worth 60,000, which gives us 180,000 worth of chlorine. And that chlorine with the oxygen that we mined for free, that was like 2 hours-ish of mining. AFK mining, I should say. I didn't do anything, it just happened on its own. I was playing something else in the meantime. Is now, that pile is 6 million, that pile is 600,000, so that's like just over 6.5 million that we made. And the refining process, again, also runs automatically. Now we just need to figure out how to go and sell this. And I actually made a tiny bit more than that. I've been mining at this quite a bit. So we have some nice piles of chlorine here. We're just gonna, of course, make sure that we leave a little bit behind. Don't use all of it, because you want to have just a little bit of seed chlorine that you can use for your further processing down the line. So don't sell all of it. Now, one of the things that you guys have taught me is when you're selling things in bulk, don't just sell them here to the station terminal, because while we could go and sell all of it and we would get like 16 million for it, which is nice and all, we can apparently get a lot more for it if we sell it to other travelers. And they should arrive here in the space station. We would like to offer you a trade. We would like to sell you some chlorine. Okay, we still get the 16. So it seems like prices are just relatively low with -9% at the moment. Oh well. We still get 16 million for it, which is pretty nice. Apparently, if you sell them to these, you don't dump the price as much, so it's apparently better. At least that's what you guys have been telling me, so I'm gonna have to trust that. But let's go ahead and let's sell our chlorine. There we go, look at it go. And we have 33 million units now. If you want to continue to follow my journey through No Man's Sky, then do go down and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.